Hello and happy Tuesday, and this is the live stream of Coffee and Conversation. I hope you're doing well. If you don't know me, my name is Evelina, and I am Evelina Hovic, and I'm a manifestation coach and expert. And those Tuesdays, so I want to say a couple of things that's been happening, and then I will talk about what I want to talk about today. And if you're coming live, make sure to say hi and let me know how you're doing, and I will give you a couple of things that's happening in my life and happening this week. So first and foremost, I'd be curious to know how you're doing and how you're coping at the moment with the lockdown and with everything that's going on. And I would like to, I'm really happy to say that even though with everything that's been going on, I've managed to stay really feeling good majority of the time. I can really honestly say that. And it's not something because, I'm doing something completely different or the life is different, but because I've been practicing all those mindset and manifestation techniques for so long and realizing that I create my own reality, so now is no different than any other time. And even though the circumstances around us are different, we are still, if we take full responsibility of how we're feeling, and how we're feeling is what we are creating, then it becomes a very different experience. So my daily rituals, which I want to talk about today a little bit, that what I have been doing for years before the lockdown, and things while the schedules have changed, while we what we do on a daily basis, how we do certain things have changed dramatically. I still practice all of those things that I practice, and I want to tell you a little bit more today about my daily routine on my morning, how I start my morning. And sometimes my mornings start much later than they were before, because there are no school drop-offs and breakfast and lunches preparations in the morning, which was a welcome break for a little while. But I think I'm ready to prepare lunches every day, so I'm good to go again. But so my mornings start sometimes much later. I've experimented with everything. I've experimented with 5 a.m. wake ups, and and just a little bit earlier than needed wake up, and whatever, and anything in between. And now that we don't have the need to wake up early necessarily, then my creativity sparks at night, so I work at night, and then I wake up quite later. But it doesn't matter when I wake up, and it depends. And I understand that your circumstances may be different, and you have different things that you have to deal with in the morning, depending on your current situation and homeschooling kids, or looking after parents, or dropping off things, or maybe you are actually working still. So it doesn't matter what it is, but allowing yourself to start the day with working on yourself, on your mindset, has been absolutely essential for me. And on the days when I don't do those things, on the days that things kind of like get away from me and I don't do, I feel it. I really do feel it. And especially if I don't do it for a couple of days, then I really feel it even more. So some of the things that I have, and I'll tell you how my current mornings, whatever that morning time is, how they look. But I encourage you to experiment with what works for you, because when we don't take the time to spend on ourselves, to make sure that we are addressing our needs and working our mindset and how we show up and how we present ourselves in the world, things are going to start getting to you. And I will tell you also some of the mistakes that I'm making, that hopefully that will encourage you to think of what can work for you. So what I don't do, I'll tell you what I don't do first thing when I wake up. When I do not check any of my messages or any of the social media or any of the emails. I do use my phone as alarm. It's on airplane mode, and at night I use it as alarm. When I get up, I do switch it off back from airplane mode. I use it for meditation. I use it for yoga if I do yoga in the morning. I use it for those things, but I do not use it to go and check my social media or emails or any of the messages. And it has, on the days when I do that, I honestly regret it, because my mind, we can't control what whenever we open emails, whenever we open our messages on social media, we no longer control what we are feeding our brain with. We are at the mercy of other people's schedules, other people requests, other people moods, other people priorities, or whatever they put out there, and you have no control over what's coming your way. And this is the reason why I don't do it. And the days when I do, and I start, fall into like even messages, I'm not ready. I'm just not ready to receive them. And I sometimes fall into this. I'm not, obviously, definitely far from perfect. And if perfect doesn't even exist in my world anymore, but I'm a recovering perfectionist. Anyway, I digress. I consciously do not go and check any of these messages until I'm ready to receive whatever comes my way. And when I'm ready to receive whatever comes my way, when I know that I'm solid in how I'm feeling today, and I'm ready to cope with whatever comes my way, and also before that I'm set intentions of what I want to bring into my way. So therefore, it's a very different way that what I will see when I open email, social media, or whatever is already there. If let's say you tell me, well, you can't change, it's already been there. But even if it's a message that doesn't make me feel so good, or something that is, I have to, something that is not so pleasant, let's say, the way I approach it, the way I react to it is completely different. So I do not do my phone use. I don't check anything when I wake up. That's one of the things I don't do. So what I do in the morning is when I wake up, first thing I'm practicing more and more. Backtrack. I have started doing, this is a recent practice, that's why it's not even in my kind of solid in my head. I started writing down my dreams. I started trying to set an intention when I go to bed, and try to remember and set an intention in a way that if anything needs to be revealed to me in the morning, I will remember it. And when I wake up, first thing, before I fully up and fully out of the bed, I write down my dreams. And this is the practice that I've been doing now, and it's something that I want to get much better at, because our dreams can reveal really important things for us, because when we sleep, we release resistance, and what comes to us could be a really indication of what we need to pay attention to. And I maybe do another whole episode on dreams another time. So that's the first thing. Then I try to get to the kitchen as soon as I can and make myself a cup of black coffee. First of all, I have a full glass, really big 16 ounces glass of water, and I prepare my coffee. The next thing I do is journaling my gratitudes, and journaling 3 morning pages. So gratitude has been absolutely kind of non-negotiable. The journaling time is happening on 99% of the cases. And when I don't journal, after a couple of days, I feel my brain is cluttered. So that helps me to, excuse me, it helps me to really clear my head, to address whatever it is that I'm feeling, to really just, when I write things, whenever it's bothering me, how I'm feeling, it really helps me to release that, to get some clarity, to have ideas of how to cope with certain situations, the solutions that I'm looking for. Things come to me so much easier when I journal and I write. Then what I do is meditation. Well, it depends. Most days I try to do at least between 10 to 15 minute yoga stretch. And most of the time I do that. Sometimes I do a half an hour, but usually not in more than that in the morning. And then I do 15-minute meditation. And after the meditation, I pull up my oracle card for the day. This has just been my practice, and really the message that helps me to pay attention to when I go through the day. And after that, that's my morning thing done. After that, I'm opening my phone and checking my messages. I check my social media, I check my emails or whatever, and make a list of priorities of what needs to be done on the business side of things. If it's a business working day, which most of the days are at the moment, just because the schedule allows me to do that. But of course, I don't do anyway. I digress. This is the point I want to bring in. This is what I do before I start dealing with whatever the world has prepared for me to deal with. But at that point, once I've done my gratitudes, once I've done my journaling, once I've done my meditation and a little bit of stretch, so my body feels a bit more supple, I feel that I've given myself the quiet time that needed. I've given myself the time to get clear on what has been going through my head, because there's always so much going on in my head, and it's a very different approach how I take, and I can respond to emails in a much better way. I can talk to people in a different way. I can show up in a different way. I can then do the things that I do in a very different way. So some of the mistakes that I make, and as I told you already, on the phone side of things, when I check my phone before I'm ready, and all those messages, that it really brings up the anxiety. The other thing is I really try not to call anyone or talk to anyone before I do my work. Again, it's the same thing. I find myself when I do that, when I make a phone call, that before I'm ready, my response is very different. I get anxious, I get annoyed, I can get, especially when it comes to family members, because sometimes they trigger more in us than we would like to admit, or than other people that are not so close to us. So anyway, those are my tips. This is how I start my day. I will talk more in other episodes of those coffee and conversation about other things, and we'll be back with my 5-minute manifestations. I know that those were popular and people find them useful, so I will be back, let's say this week. There's a lot going on, but I must tell you before I go, I must tell you that if you haven't yet joined Manifestation Cafe, you totally should. It's an awesome group for women to create, connect, manifest. The group is linked here under community. So come and if you're into manifestation and expansion and just creating your reality and getting all the things that you want in life come to you, and just dealing with limiting beliefs and sabotages, and we discuss all of those things. So please come and join if it resonates with you. I would love to welcome you in Manifestation Cafe. We have wine socials every Friday and lots of other things that are going to be happening there. So you must check it out if that's at all if it resonates. Otherwise, have yourself a wonderful Tuesday, make it a beautiful week ahead. Enjoy, find gratitude, find light in whatever you're doing. And I wish you all the love, and I'm sending you virtual hugs and love to you. Bye for now.